Hi there, welcome to my tarot channel. Um, Today I'm doing a reading for May 2020 for the sign of Cancer. Um, as we're still in the throes of the coronavirus lockdown and all the implications of that, um, all the individual star sign readings that I'm doing all seem to reflect something of that situation. Excuse me, reaching my nose. Um, so there's a sort of similarity in all of them, although each one also has individual aspects and challenges, could we say. I've done a general reading for the COVID-19 situation, and then I followed that up with a May 2020 reading because as I was working my way through the astrological signs, um, I felt there was something missing that I hadn't really managed to explore, so I felt I had to do that in a separate COVID-19 May reading, which I've done and is on this channel, which you may want to look at as well. But anyway, today it's Cancer, and we start off with actually a good card. It's the Six of Wands, which is, as you can see, there's a sense of victory there. I don't know if you can see with the light on it. Um, in the deck that I use, the Mythic Tarot, excuse me, um, the different suits of cards represented by a different Greek myth, which, if you know anything about mythology, actually, are stories about life's journey, and they're very resonant, I find, and very useful. But anyway, this is the myth of Jason going to look for the golden fleece, and here he is having found the golden fleece. So there is a sense of euphoria there, a sense of having achieved one's goal. And this is probably a lot to do with the fact that restrictions will probably be lifted in May, according to my other reading. And we'll be starting to get a handle on the whole situation. So everyone's individual situation is going to be lightened to a degree. But of course we have to remember that he's reached the goal of his journey, but he still has to make it back. So it's only really halfway, but I think we probably realise that we're in for a bit of a longer haul. Things are improving. Your life situation is improving, but it's the beginning of the return journey to, well, they have to resolve lots of things, and probably as individuals we do as well. This is crossed by the Ace of Wands, which is a nice card to have here, fiery, and again featuring the golden fleece or the golden ram. This is the initiating spirit of creativity and hope. You can see the sun rising beyond the hills there, and there's the Page of Wands with his fiery wand or torch, which represents the stirrings of the creative spark, the stirrings of a desire to move forward on a journey of achievement or discovery, or it can be a creative journey. So it's almost like after this period of lockdown and readjustment and all the inner resources we've had to call on, there's this feeling of, yeah, I want to get on my golden ram with my torch and ride out there and start things happening again. So I think this is something that you're feeling, Cancer, or will be feeling in May when restrictions start to be lifted. However, again, probably this theme runs through many of the readings, and it's very much indicative of the general situation, which is probably the first time that the whole of humanity has been in a similar situation. So lots of the cards are reflecting a similar theme, and this is, loss or fear of loss. It may be, loss of finances, job, hopefully not anybody you know, but it's a sad card. It may or may not reflect reality. It may be more an inner feeling that something has been lost, which could be freedom, sense of security, sense of direction, sense of security in a wider sense, not necessarily relating just to your finances, but just, I think we're all feeling that, how vulnerable we are. and how interlinked we are. And we've had this enforced isolation, which has really thrown us back on our own resources. So it's not unusual or ununderstandable to find this card here casting its influence, if you like, over the reading. But I would say, you know, that the positive thing about all the cards is there's always a positive there. And I think whenever you can face the situation as it is, then there's a potential for movement, for moving forward from it. So don't get stuck in this feeling. And at the bottom of the reading is a lovely card, the Two of Cups, which is about the journey of love is represented by the Suit of Cups. So it's to do with the heart, it's to do with feelings, it's to do with connection. And this is really indicating that, you know, there's a strong strand of love running through this reading. This is the beginning of the Cups journey, so it's rather sort of widely based. It's not any specific stage on the journey, it's just representing that uprushing meeting of minds, of hearts. It could be a general thing, you know, the way love has and compassion has been expressed throughout this whole scenario that we've been in. Or it may be that you've missed your loved one and it's really made you reassess your feelings. It may be that you're in lockdown with your loved one or have been, and you've rediscovered your original in-love feelings for each other, just basically having time for it. You know, I think the way life has been up until now, so frenetic, quite often those tender shoots of love, you know, can be neglected in the rush of every day. So maybe that has happened for you. I hope so. That would be really nice. Now then, this is a situation that's sort of moving away, or kind of is in the background, if you like, and really this represents possibly where we were, feeling secure with our pile of money here. But it's more than that. It's about your life to date having led you to a place where you know what you're worth. You know, you've worked hard, you've achieved something, and even if you lose that money, it can't take away your self-esteem. I think this card at the top here is very much involved with if there's any kind of material or financial loss in your life or difficulty. In this card, it impacts your self-worth. However, in this card here, it's saying that actually it really shouldn't, because whatever you've achieved prior to this, even if you have suffered a loss, and I hope you haven't, I mean, you know, the cards are very general for Cancer. It's not for every individual. By the way, if you would like an individual reading, I am available on that note. Please do send me a message. But this is really about knowing your self-worth, what you've achieved. And of course, that's true now. Even if you've suffered a loss, don't lose faith in yourself. This is what you had achieved or have achieved. So don't allow that sort of vulnerable card at the top of the pile to knock you off course. Now, I'm wondering whether Cancerians may have, for some reason, collectively sort of had to let go of something, maybe more than the rest of us. I don't know. But this is the card of letting go, of acceptance. It's a sad card because it means leaving behind one's... actually, in this particular suit, it's the Journey of Cups, which is a love journey. So I don't know, it sort of slightly contradicts the other card and another one that's coming up about the journey of love, which seems much more positive, as if you've rediscovered your love with your partner, either whether they're with you in lockdown or whether they're distant, and you find you've reassessed how you feel about them and long to be with them. This is really about letting go. It's about facing the inevitability of something coming to an end. This may be life choices, lifestyle. It may be a relationship that maybe has not lasted the test of the lockdown and all the rest of it. But it's the point in a relationship where, you know, perhaps you've begged and pleaded and cried and tried to bargain. Oh, if only they would love me again, I would do this, that, and the other. And this is the stage where it finally allows you to move forward, because you go, okay, it's done. And then from that, you can go on to the next step, which allows you to come back to a mature love, a mature supportive love, not based on fantasy or needs or projections. I sort of do tend to go on quite a lot about that. And I know that, you know, passion is a powerful, powerful thing. And, you know, and love, it's, yes, can blow us off course, it can hold us on course. So I'm not, to be honest, I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Maybe you know, maybe there's something that needs to come to an end or be given up and accepted. However, following on from that is this card about the beginning of love again. This is the in love stage. This has come up 3 times in different readings in the same position, and I think what it means is that after this period of isolation, self-reflection and so on, we're just yearning for that contact, for that love, for that in love stage. And I think, you know, in other catastrophes in the past, like the Second World War, you know, an awful lot of love was made because people, you know, realised their vulnerability, their mortality. You know, it's shaken us all up. And then I think the go-to setting then is let's make love. So I think that's what this card is about. So yeah, I think that you could fall in love over again with your partner or with someone new. I think hearts are open, and this is possibly what's going to occur once we're allowed out again. This is how others see you, which is nice. Again, it's a feminine card, but a feminine card rooted firmly in the material and sensual world. And I think Cancerians, you know, have that strong, nurturing streak. You know, it's a sign of motherhood and femininity, whether you're male or female. And here we have Omphale, who's the queen of Lydia, who made Heracles her lover. So she's, you know, there's a lot of love going on in here, and people see you this way. You know, you're somebody who loves your comfort, loves your luxury, loves your bling, all that sort of thing. So I think people see you as this rather, yeah, this kind of lovely person, you know, who's in touch with themselves and sensuality and so on. So this is you, Cancer. Okay, this is hopes and fears, and I think we can safely say this represents a fear rather than a hope. Now this is again, like all the cards that are apparently negative when you look at them, there's also a positive in there. Now this obviously is fear of death, or fear of revenge, fear of bloodletting of some sort, fear of betrayal, and that's hovering there. However, the positive reading in this card is that it is actually allowing, and sort of ties in with this card, I suppose, you know, with sort of letting go of things and accepting in sadness a certain situation. The hope here, as opposed to the fear, is a sort of lancing of the abscess, if you like, and letting it's even though it seems you know, a violent act even, but it's something that allows healing. It moves on from the stagnation of the twos, which is a card that has come up quite often, but not in this reading, where you don't want to consider the options. It's like too much, the decisions are too much. This is action. It's allowed the healing to follow on, because it's let out the the toxins of the situation. So overall, I'm sort of feeling that, you've had perhaps some challenges in your relationships during this lockdown period. And this is the hope that perhaps passing through this stage is going to form some sort of new beginning or a resolution. Okay, and now we have the Tower at the top of the reading. This is self-evident. Tower is falling. However, it's not necessarily, it looks like it's sort of, oh my God, Tower's falling down. But the more subtle psychological interpretation of this card is more about the face we present to the world. And again, I just keep coming back to this whole enforced lockdown. I think it's probably the first time for many of us where we've been forced back onto our own resources. We've had time for self-reflection. Maybe, the sort of the incipient challenges or danger even of the situation we've been in has sort of stripped us back down to what's really important. And the Tower can represent the face we turn to the world, the diplomacy, the makeup, the polite smiling face perhaps. And in a way that's a sort of mask. It sort of traps you a little bit. And the Tower, might be coming to realize, okay, I don't have to be that way. I don't have to do all that. I can just be me. I can be me, how I am, good and bad, and own it all, and not feel you have to always be the appeaser, the smiling person, whatever, the social person. So I think, possibly for Cancer, who's is oriented quite a lot towards others and caring for others, this could be a resetting for you, a means of finding your own feet and coming out of this whole situation much stronger. So in light of that, I drew an extra card, one that I don't normally draw. I have the set Celtic cross layout, but I felt with it ending on the Tower, I needed to draw another one, and this is what came up, which is Strength, which is great because this again is all about integrating, the powerful forces of the lion, which can be seen as, sort of animalistic even, or perhaps parts of your personality that you'd prefer to sit on. But Heracles here subdues the lion, and in doing so he integrates its strength. So it's about allowing the real you to integrate with the social you, if you like, and it will provide you with more power because you're not ashamed of that side of yourself maybe that you've hidden, to be polite and nice and loving and so on. Doesn't mean that you won't be that way in the future. You will be, but somehow it comes from a place where it's less about pleasing others and more about just expressing yourself thoroughly, the whole person. So I think that may be the lesson that has come to Cancers from this period. So I hope that leaves you with a positive message. I don't shy away from, some of the more negative aspects because I think they're very valuable. We must face them, and I think we've had a valuable time given to us for whatever reason where we can actually unpack some stuff that we've been carrying and move forward from it. And that's not always easy, but I think definitely this card shows that it's valuable, a valuable thing to do. So Cancer, I hope that's been enlightening and encouraging. If you've found something in this for you, if you'd like a personal reading, please do get in touch, message me, or please leave a like or subscribe on my channel. I would be delighted if you would do that. So in the meantime, until I see you again, which I hope I will, just wishing you all the very best and to keep well, stay well, and bye-bye for now.